Welcome everyone to the Sign Draft Podcast, and today we're talking more NASCAR news. But first, before we get into the video, we want to congratulate Brad Keselowski and Paige Keselowski on their daughter, Autumn.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, so congratulations, and enjoy the rest of your off season with your new daughter.
Yeah, I mean it's right here at the holidays. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, didn't have to worry about needing a replacement for a race. So off season, perfect time.
Yeah, it goes at the right time.
But in other news, Joey Logano will be testing the next gen car at ISM next week, which is the car was built by RCR, and so they got Joey Logano driving it.
Built by a Chevrolet team and tested by a Ford team.
Yeah, so the car isn't necessarily made for one manufacturer. It's a bit of a hybrid looking car, and so it's really important that they get these hours in testing the car. I don't think we can see any of it. We can't really see the car going. They're not even letting media in.
Wow.
So we have no clue what it sounds like. We know what it looks like, but we just don't know what it drives like. So it's going to be key to get this car to drive very good, especially at ISM. You know how rough the ISM races was this season, and could be something they can learn for the 2020 season as well.
Yeah, will it give advantage to Joey and their team or RCR? Or
Yeah, and Austin Dillon drove it a couple months ago at Richmond, so getting a little head start there.
Yeah.
So we do have a new paint scheme alert. I believe it was last week when they released this. We just didn't do a in the draft video because of Thanksgiving. But Eric Jones will bring back DeWalt and had a scheme that looks similar to Matt Kenseth's old DeWalt scheme. Next piece of news here is Landon Castle. He is out of the 00 for Starcom Racing, and he'll be replaced with Quinn Houff. I think he's still going to be at Starcom. Not sure if it's going to be full-time or part-time or what the deal is. I think he's most likely going to take the 99 car. Just not sure on that just yet.
Yeah, we'll let you know once we figure out the details on that.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of concerning because Landon Castle was the face of this organization. He was very marketable.
Yes.
Which I think Quinn Houff, we really don't know what he's like just yet. He could be also a new face, new personality that everyone will love. But I think Landon Castle has been,
especially with Dario's, and I mean, in Mooresville we've seen him a couple times at Dario's and sign autographs. He had a cool sponsor with them, and I believe he's very marketable.
Yeah, Landon Castle is just a very marketable, very likable driver. So I would do everything I could to keep him on my race team. Because we saw what he could do in the 89 and the Xfinity Series, and that car is considered a low-funded team, and he was able to get like top 15s in it. So if he could go somewhere else getting a good ride, that can compete for top 10s, he's going to be deadly.
There's a lot of great talent, back in these lower-funded teams, but sometimes they don't really get to showcase what they got. Just due to the equipment that they drive in.
Yeah, and the same could be said about the lower funded teams. If they could just get just a little bit more help from other organizations.
Yeah, look at Ross Chastain. He's really an example of this. Ran these races a lot. I mean, he runs all three series. I mean, full, as much as he can. And here he was, jumped in the truck, got a good ride, and actually the year before when he went to Xfinity. Man, he was really tearing up the track then, and then he got to move to the trucks and went for a championship. And you can really showcase your ride once you get into a good ride. Yeah,
and he almost won the championship for Nice Motorsports.
Yes.
He just fell just short there, but we'd like to see where Landon Castle will go, and also Ross Chastain. he's going to College Racing, and
he's been really great in the 10 car. I mean, he's really helped Justin Haley, and Justin Haley's come around a little more and team them two up. I mean, I think they'll be pretty one of the top ones coming up this next year.
Yeah, the Xfinity Series is going to be really different next season. We don't know who's going to be where, and we don't know these new guys coming in. We really don't know nothing about them. We don't know if they're going to go in there and dominate like Christopher Bell did, or if they're going to go there and struggle. So
yeah, with Christopher Bell and Cole Custer out, and I mean, a lot of these, who's going to be the king of the hill then? I mean, I know Justin Allgaier, he's definitely going to be up there. And Noah Gregson's, he's tipping up his program, and so we'll see who the big three is going to be next year.
Yeah, and then other news, Ricky Stenhouse, of course, everybody knows that he was going to JTG Daugherty Racing, but everyone thought he'd be in the 37. Well, it turns out him and Ryan Preece are swapping numbers, so Stenhouse will be in the 47, while Preece will be in the 37, and I believe it has something to do with like testing hours, and like I think it means like what number it is associated with how many testing hours they get, something like that. So
yeah, some of these little rules get complicated once you get to the numbers, the cars, different teams, and all of them combined, and you just have to all these teams got to work these things out and see which is best for the team.
Yeah, and which you gotta feel sorry for the guys who bought 30 or 47 gear for Ryan Preece, and now they gotta
change their numbers again.
Change the number. It's not that he's going to another store or another shop. Got my shop synonyms mixed up there.
Yeah, it's kind of you go buy the gear next year to change the number, and it's like and then you gotta go buy more gear, and but that's part of the game, I guess you sort of say, but you just got to buy some more gear.
Yeah, that was one positive thing about being a Gordon fan for most of my life, because he stayed in 24. Didn't ever have to do that, but so Preece fans, get out your wallets and buy more hats and shirts.
Yeah, see, I was a junior fan, which he was 8, and then he had to add another 8 to it, so yeah, it's like, you guys had double numbers in.
Yeah. So this next one is I don't know if it's exactly news or whatever. It's nothing to do with on the track, but Kyle Busch for a moment was a WWE champion.
Yeah. So not only is he a champion in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, he's now a WWE champion. So
what else is he going to win?
You just can't beat him. I swear, no matter what he does, you just can't beat him.
He's probably going to join Fast
I know a lot of people want to get in the ring and try to beat him up, but maybe get a rematch somewhere.
Yeah, so Kyle Busch, we challenge you.
Yeah. So many fans out there just go and challenge him and say, "Hey, I want the title."
Could you do that for the Monster Energy Championship?
I don't know.
I challenge you to a race. You put your trophy at stake.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
He might win that one again.
Yeah. Who knows? It might get lucky.
Yeah.
But speaking of Kyle Busch, with Stuart Friesen and his truck team, Halmar, they are going to switch to Toyota, and they're going to be associated with KBM. That could be really big. And that's kind of like the big news of today. A little bit of news came out today. That's how all news goes. It doesn't just sprinkle. It's just a big...
Yeah, you either get no news that week or a ton of news.
Or you're making
But yeah, I think this is a big deal. Them switching to Toyota and the KBM Alliance. I believe they're still going to stay in the Statesville area. And yeah, I mean, that's really big. I mean, I know the KBM trucks are very strong. They won a lot of races. I mean, they won the manufacturer championship. So maybe that's a good direction for them to move in.
Yeah, and it could see Stuart Friesen maybe getting an Xfinity ride or Cup ride, or he might just stay in the trucks and be like Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton. And we could see a really resurgence from Stuart Friesen. He almost won the championship this season and won 2 races. That was something that he couldn't just quite do, and now he's going to have KBM equipment. And
wow, it's going to be kind of fun to watch next year and see, because he's always pretty quick no matter where he goes, and he's going to be in Toyota equipment, and just look out for this Friesen.
yeah, just hope it doesn't end like the Furniture Row Joe Gibbs deal. I hope they can KBM and Halmar can help each other, and not one just runs the other one out of money. So,
Yeah.
because the Furniture Row deal was just really disappointing to see all that happen. But I think it's going to be a good thing for Stuart Friesen and Halmar.
Yeah.
And also KBM. I think they're going to really be pleased with Friesen and what he can do. And also, it's rumored that maybe DGR Crossley is not going to have KBM association, but we can't quite confirm that just yet. But I did hear that they might be going to Ford, so that's going to be
Very interesting.
a different thing. Halmar is now Toyota, and DGR might be Ford.
Yeah, with Tyler Ankrum, he was rookie of the year, and got turned forward, and so we'll see what happens there.
And the last bit of news today, we got Corey Lajoie. He re-signs with GoFast. It was a bit undetermined where he was going to go, if he was going to stay there, because GoFast announced that they were now associated with Storthouse Racing, and now that Corey Lajoie is there, maybe Lajoie could be a bit more successful.
Yeah, that's very good for Corey. Getting some good equipment and see what he can do. He had good finishes this past year. Really good to see him stepping up this year.
Yeah, I think he actually got a few top tens at like Daytona or Talladega. So it's going to be great to see what he can do at GoFast. And also, this puts John Hunter Nemechek in a position where the 32 ride is now closed. He can't really go there. So I think he's going to go towards Front Row Motorsports. I think that's really the only option he has at this point. So let's stay tuned for that. And we'll give you some more news later on in the week. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.